Hey there everybody, PTPOP here, where I lead you out of the rabbit hole, one grain of truth at a time. And today I'm going to take you to a job fair. I had the pleasure of attending a job fair for the first time in over 10 years. And it was a nice experience. It wasn't too bad. And I'm going to show you a little bit of video and tell you a little bit about it here. As many of you know, I'm always looking for work here in Cleveland. The desert of jobs, the desert landscape of careers here in the mighty land of Ohio. It's been very hard for me to find work here. I think it's because I'm older, I'm white, and I have basically a call center background and a creative background. Most people don't want to contend with creative types because we're considered mavericks. Cheers. Liquefied alien brain. I love it. And so I was over at the Metroparks one day going on a walk with my wife, and we saw a flyer for a job fair for the Cleveland Metroparks. They were having a job fair yesterday. And I said, well, why not? You know, I've always wanted to work at the Metroparks. It's a beautiful place. And if you don't know anything about the Cleveland Metroparks, they were a huge park system here in the Cleveland area. Beautiful landscape, trees, all kinds of facilities, golf courses. There's a toboggan run in one place where you can, in the wintertime, you can ride a toboggan down this long concrete slope. All kinds of stuff. And take it right from the words of the Cleveland Metroparks System website. Cleveland Metroparks is an extensive system of nature preserve in Greater Cleveland, Ohio. 18 reservations, which largely encircle the city of Cleveland, follow along the shore of Lake Erie and the rivers and creeks that flow through the region. Referred to unofficially as the Emerald Necklace, the network of parks spans over 25,000 acres and includes over 300 miles of walking, bicycle, and horse trails, as well as numerous picnic areas, nature education centers, golf courses, and countless fishing spots. In addition, the district includes the zoo in Cleveland. And here is their promotional page for the job fair on their website. Cleveland Metroparks is hosting a job fair for seasonal positions for 2025 on March 15th, which was yesterday. Various seasonal positions are available at work areas such as the Cleveland Metroparks Zoo, park, concessions, restaurants, marinas, and golf courses. So I went to this, and I'll show you a little bit of video on it. I can't show you too much. I don't want to get in trouble showing people on camera that didn't want to be. I had the camera, I had my iPhone in my coat pocket, so it was just kind of peeking out over the rim of my pocket, kind of like a body camera. But when I was talking to people, I should have been turned like this because the camera was looking this way, so the footage is kind of useless. You can hear some of the conversations. But when I went into this room, it was at the Cleveland Metroparks Zoo, and I parked at a parking lot, and I had to walk a quarter of a mile all the way to the front of the zoo, which is typical because, you know, the parking lots are far away from the animals and everything. And then I got there, and you walk through an entryway, you know, people guide you up to the room where it was being held, or the banquet hall. And I'd say there was probably 20 to 25 recruiters in this room, all working for the Metroparks, people for the golf courses, people for the restaurants and the concession stands, and so on. And it was a nice group of people. It was a good time. I'll tell you what happened is I walked in, and there was a group of greeters sitting at tables. There was a nice young lady who happened to be an artist. She was left-handed, and she was writing down things on this tablet. And I said, oh, are you an artist? She goes, oh, yeah, I am. How did you know? And I said, well, you're left-handed. Most of us lefties are artists. And she's like, well, okay, we'll take a picture of this QR code, and when it comes up on your phone, fill out this application form and come back over, and we'll let you into the job fair. So this was the most awkward part of the job fair is I took a picture of this QR code, and it came up with some Microsoft-driven. I'm not a big fan of Microsoft. I've been using Mac for almost 20 years now. I've used Microsoft quite a bit prior to that, but this was very like, what do I do with this? And it came up on my iPhone, and I clicked on stuff, and it wasn't working, and it said, oh, you got to log into your Microsoft account, which I do have one because I'm on Teams. And I couldn't get in. It said, I tried once, and it said, you've tried too many times, and you're locked out of your account. Try again later, like in another decade or something. So I went back over to the young lady. I said, hey, I can't get in. She goes, oh, don't worry about it. What's your name? She wrote it down. What's your email address? She wrote it down. She goes, okay, go ahead and go in. I'm like, okay, that's kind of weird. So I went inside, and I'll probably show some of it just wandering around in here. I walked in. I kind of did a 360. It was just filled with people, hundreds of people. Maybe not hundreds. There were probably 100 people looking for work in this building at this job fair. And the first table I walked up to was the police. The Metroparks has their own police and rangers. They have park rangers. And there's this guy there, and he's all decked out. He's probably no more than 30. Good-looking guy. Cut. He's wearing body armor. He's got his 9mm and all his ammunition. His magazines on his belt and his handcuffs and his taser and his mace and his, he's ready for war. Get on the chopper now. Run from the raccoons. And I was talking to him a little bit. He goes, we're hiring. And I go, oh, okay. I go, I think I'm a little bit old to be a police officer. He goes, oh, we'll take anyone, he said. And I was like, well, that's not a good sign. I said, well, I don't really think it's my thing. I really appreciate what you guys do, but I don't think, as I've said in other videos, I think I wouldn't know. I wouldn't be a good cop. I don't think so. I would just not be a good cop. Let's put it that way. So I wandered around a bit, and I found them. I was going to go there to try to get a job in maintenance because I'm not a customer-facing person. I can talk to customers over the phone. I don't like to face customers in person, face-to-face, because I would get extremely angry. I would fly off the handle, and I can't handle it. I just can't handle people screaming and yelling at me in person. So I found the maintenance section for the park where I want to do maintenance. And I talked to the young man, really nice guy, and there was nobody at this guy's table. All the other tables had like hundreds of people at them, but this guy had like nobody talking to him. Because who wants to work in maintenance in a park? And he said, well, what you'll be doing is you'll be getting in a truck, you'll be there at 6 a.m, you go around, empty trash cans, you clean up the bathroom, so on and so forth. I'm like, that's kind of cool. Because if I can just be by myself somewhere and do a job and I'd have somebody riding my case all day long, that would be the best thing for me. Then I walked over and I talked to somebody over at one of the golf courses that's near my house. And they said, well, the guy that works at that golf course didn't show up today. So you're going to go talk to Bill down there in the hoodie. So I went over and talked to that guy, and he didn't know anything about the golf course. He basically said what they're looking for: people to work at the concessions or people to set up at the first tee. So I walked away from there. Then I saw that they were hiring for a marketing position. Marketing, I can't remember what it was, but it was something to do with marketing. So I was like, hey, my name's Pete Tompkins. I'm a documentary filmmaker and photographer. And, this woman comes up to talk to me, and she's, I've gone from maintenance to golf courses to the corporate world now. We're back in the corporate world. We've got all corporate people standing behind the desk here. And there's this woman with completely straightened dyed red hair with bangs like Betty Page. She's got real fancy glasses on. And she's very proper and skinny, the type of woman that probably hangs out at the library a lot. And she's like, well, we have a photographer. We have 2 photographers on staff. You'd have to go online and apply if you wanted to apply. This isn't what we're looking for right now. And unfortunately, I did not get her on camera because my camera was pointing off like my eye does, off to the side. And I can't put her on camera anyway because I didn't have a release from her, and it wasn't really a public event. It was private. So she was snotty. I took her to be snotty. Everybody else was very friendly. The cop was friendly. The cop needs people. Nobody wants to be in a police force anymore. So I think overall the job fair was interesting. I haven't gone on to apply to anything yet because I don't understand. This is what I didn't understand about the whole thing. Okay, you go all the way down to the Cleveland Zoo, which was a good 20-mile drive for me, on a Saturday morning. You go in, you shake a few hands, you hand out a couple resumes, you talk to a couple people, and they all say, go online and apply. Like, what's the point of me coming down here and putting my email address in and giving my name and squeezing the flesh, I think is what they call it when you shake hands, if you're just going to direct me back to a website? I just don't understand what the point was, because these people aren't going. They talked to hundreds and hundreds of people that day. Hey, it's going to rain. It's a beautiful rainy day here in Ohio. So it was an okay time, but I just didn't understand the point to it. As most of you know, I'll put some videos on here. It was very noisy. So let me show you. I'm going to show you a little bit here. Let me bring up some of the things here. I'll show you what it kind of looked like, and I'll try to keep people's identity hidden. Oh, look at that! It's just pouring out there. That is awesome. Ah, I love it. I love the rain. PTPOP here. And I am headed to my first job fair in over 10 years. So I'm headed there now. It's going to be an interesting thing because I haven't been to a job fair in a long time. It was for Giant Eagle, a grocery store chain. All right, job fair. Let's go get it.
So just follow the path along the elephants here, straight ahead. When you come to the first right, turn right. You're going to go up the hill. Stillwater Place is right there.
So that was the job fair. I came here to try to apply for maintenance. And that's something that I'd be interested in doing, so I can just kind of be behind the scenes. The guy said it'd be from like 6 in the morning to 4. Probably in all kinds of weather, which is fine. I'd rather be behind the scenes, away from all the people, early in the morning, getting the park cleaned up, stuff like that. It's kind of more my speed. So we'll see what happens. They're very busy. It's very noisy. There's people here of all walks of life, all ages. This is definitely an equal opportunity employer here. I'm pretty sure that they hire all people of all ages. I talked to the one guy at the golf course, one of the golf courses near me. He said they need some to just set up coverage to apply online. So I don't know. I don't know much about golf. It can't be too hard to get golfers set up at the first tee. You're probably dealing with a lot of drunken idiots, but I don't know if the drinking starts before the first tee or if as they progress through the course. But the job fair was at the Cleveland Metroparks Zoo. So if you hear wild animals here, I'm at near the elephant bin. I don't think they've brought the animals out yet. I always get nervous at these things. This is the part about working that I just don't like. It's that you have to put on this fake persona and talk to people and shake hands. The guy who was hiring for the Rangers said they'd hire anybody. Maybe become a police officer. I don't know. I don't know if I could pass the physical requirements for it. So you never know.